Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of the Staten Island Business Podcast. I'm your host, John Perez, working up another episode for the Staten Island-based businesses and individuals who need access to news and information and resources during this COVID-19 crisis. In this episode, we are going to review the top 12 opportunities you have during the COVID crisis. We're going to shift the focus from the SBA loans and the PPP programs that are available for small businesses to what is available for individuals. So if you are an individual, a non-business owner, you actually should listen to this. Even if you are a business owner, you should absolutely listen to this. There are some opportunities here that also apply to you. So if you lost a job, still have a job, but need some extra cushion in your bank account, stay tuned to this episode. If you have some extra money to invest, you should also stay tuned. And there are things on this list that you're totally going to want to hear about. So let's go over these top 12 opportunities that you may or may not be aware of. Okay, so opportunity number 1, of course, many of you have already heard of the additional funding in unemployment. The U.S. will pay you an additional $600 a week of unemployment payments for up to 4 months. And if you recently filed for unemployment and you work in New York City, and this only applies for New York, you are going to get an additional $600 per week. That is great. I've actually known some people who actually did get this, okay? There are some qualifications, though. So to get that extra $600, you must have worked and earned at least $2,400 in wages claimed in Q4 of 2019. That's the last 3 months of 2019. And you must have earned at least $2,600 in wages in Q1 of 2020. Requirements and documents are pretty much standard. You need to do your taxes and get your W-2 form in order, and that is going to be a document you'll need to supply. If you're a federal employee, there's the SF-8 and the SF-50. So a little extra money in your unemployment check if you meet those requirements, and that's really, really a positive thing. And of course, everybody's talking about the stimulus check. So opportunity number 2 is the stimulus check. So I'm going to talk about the requirements, but I'm also going to talk about who's not qualified, okay? So for the most part, the rebate is given to a lot of Americans, and you have to file your taxes at least in 2008 and 2019 to actually get the stimulus check. The rebate phases out at $75,000 for singles, $112,500 for heads of household, and $150,000 for joint taxpayers at 5% per dollar of qualified income, or $50 per $1,000 earned. It phases out entirely at $99,000 for single taxpayers with no children, and $198,000 for joint taxpayers with no children. The long and short of this is if you've made less than $75,000, it's highly likely you're going to get a stimulus check. If you made more and you're in the $100,000 range, they're capping any stimulus check at $112,000 for single heads of households. And as you go up the curve in salary, they are also looking at how much to give you. So that $1,200 stimulus check that people are getting, you're only going to get that full amount if you actually made less than $75,000 last year. So something to think about. The requirements are that you also have to file your taxes in 2018. So hopefully you did that. Okay, so that's opportunity number 2. These two, many of us have heard. But opportunity number 3 is your tax filings and your payment deadlines are extended. So if you owed money to the IRS and if you haven't filed your taxes, you have some wiggle time to do that. You have to file your taxes by July 15th. And if you do have some tax payments owed, I do believe you can pay by July 15th, assuming that you've already filed your taxes. So opportunity number 3 is a really great opportunity for those who just want the cash in the bank now and perhaps want to, delay their tax filings if they owe. And that is just something that even business owners and individuals should be aware of, especially if you own. Opportunity number 4. Now, this is a good one. You are allowed to increase the amount in retirement loans. So, for example, if you have a 401k and you're thinking about borrowing against that, right? There was a limitation of $50,000 that you can take. What they are doing is increasing that amount. You now can take between $50,000 and $100,000 during 2020 if you have a retirement account plan, and you could borrow against that. So opportunity number 4 is they've increased the amount you can borrow against your retirement plan, and that's a good one, especially if you did save in the last couple of years and have some money in that bank account or in that fund. Opportunity number 5 is related to opportunity number 4. There is this early withdrawal penalty fee that you get when you withdraw from your 401k. At the current moment, the 401k providers are waiving the 10% early withdrawal penalty for withdrawals of up to $100,000 from qualified retirement accounts. So, need to actually take out money from your 401k and withdraw, it will waive the 10% withdrawal fee. The other thing to note about this is income tax on the distribution would be owed, but could be paid over a 3-year period. So if you made any profit in your 401k, which hopefully many of us did, I would think we're at a decent level of making a profit, you're not going to have to pay taxes. You got 3 years to pay taxes on it. I think this is a great deal for those who really need to tap into their retirement account and take out the early withdrawal, and it removes the early withdrawal fee, and you don't have to immediately pay taxes. So this is like, just taking out some money and helping yourself out. But it's probably important to do something with that money. Just don't take it out and not make money from it. Maybe invest it, do something that's going to make you more money perhaps. So opportunity number 5, really good one, I think, for those who've managed to save and have a retirement account. Opportunity number 6, we did talk about before on our show, but mortgage relief is available for homeowners, right? So if you have a federally backed mortgage, you can postpone your mortgage payments for up to 3 months. And the rules for how you pay that back are going to be different from each borrower. The postponement must be granted for up to 180 days and extended for an additional period of 180 days at the request of the borrower. So when you call and you say you want to do this, you have at least 180 days to work with. Okay. And what it looks like is you can have that extended another 180 days if you call again. So this is interesting in that I'm not sure if you should do this, but it does look like you could avoid some payments anywhere between 3 to 6 months. I think for those who really need to do that, do it. But be careful because you may just impact your credit score. Although the banks and the Fed are telling you that it won't impact you, I know they're going to track this data on you. So if you, let's say, do this, accumulate some cash in the bank because you haven't been paying your mortgage, then all of a sudden you want to buy a car, you could get dinged. So just be aware of that. But the good news is that, for those who really need to do it, you can skip your mortgage. So that's opportunity number 6. Okay, related to that is opportunity number 7. There is a foreclosure moratorium. This prevents the servicer of a federally backed mortgage loan to initiate any foreclosure process for at least 60 days beginning on March 18, 2020. So you have March, April, and most likely May. They will continue foreclosures, but it looks like they temporarily closed or stopped any foreclosures that were happening. So for those who are in the process of being foreclosed and you're in the property, you got till May. Who knows what will happen May again, but this applies to anybody who has a federally backed mortgage. You can avoid foreclosure for at least the next 2 months. Opportunity number 8. This is eviction relief for renters. So if you were currently being evicted or in the process of being evicted, this is going to actually give you some kind of relief. So for 120 days After the CARES Act of enactment, landlords with mortgages backed by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and the other federal entities cannot pursue evictions for their tenants. Landlords also can't charge any fees or penalties related to non-payment of rent. So this is quite interesting. While it sounds like a huge benefit for renters, it really does sound like something that's going to impact landlords, particularly for those who are on the path of being evicted. This may create more problems for landlords or more problems for people who rent. So we'll see how this goes. That is opportunity number 8, really for renters, not so much for landlords. Opportunity number 9 is really great news for students. So if you have and own a student loan, there is a student loan payment suspension. This actual program enables you to suspend your payments automatically for federal student loans through September 30th, 2020, with no interest accruing or penalties during that period of suspension. So if you have a school loan that you were paying monthly, you now can skip it and start paying again beginning September 30th. If you did skip it from now until September 30th, you will not be charged any interest. So that's really great for those students who actually need that extra cash to support themselves throughout the crisis. Now, opportunity number 10 is that required minimum distributions from IRAs and 401k plans at the age of 72 are suspended. Maybe this does not apply to many of us, but if you are older, you have a retirement fund, and you are required to actually get the minimal amount of distributions into your bank account, this allows you to actually keep the money invested. You are not required to actually pull from it. So that can be a great thing for senior folks who basically just want to keep their money in a place where it can be invested and it can make more money. And that may be really good for folks who want to, invest at that age and get stocks at a discount, which they all are at a discount right now. So if you're a senior, this is probably good news. And of course, for everyone who needs a real ID, this is an official license. Whether you're a DACA or immigrant or someone who just doesn't have a license, you have the opportunity to get a real ID. The deadline is now extended from October 1st, 2020, all the way down to September 30th. And these are the top 11 to 12 opportunities that you have. There are some other items that you'll see in our show notes around agriculture benefits, around charity benefits, around interest payments and payroll payments back that you need to make to your business, and you could defer those. So take a look at our show notes so you can see the complete list. I want to thank you for listening. I hope this was useful to all of you guys, and I hope you actually start to pursue some of these opportunities. Thank you, and have a great day.